Good morning all, we're going to be doing another video for you today. We are using our little Lilies and Leaves stamp and matching outline die, our brick wall stencil and our hello stamp, as well as some of the clean colour pens. So we'll just, oh, and the Distress Oxides, my always go-to inks for at the moment. I love them, but I think my new love might be these new clean colour pens. So let's just show you what we've got coming up. So we have the brick wall stencil, which is an A5 stencil. We have the little Lilies and Leaves stamp and matching outline die, so that makes it quick and easy to cut out. And then we're going to just pop on a hello stamp, because obviously at the moment it's quite nice just to send a card because we can. We're also going to be using the Honeydew Craft sticky glue, which comes in the two sizes, the 120mm or the 30mm. And we are using the clean colour pens and the Wink of Stella brush. So the colours we're using are light blue, blue, light green, pale green, green shadow, geranium red, red, yellow, light violet, deep violet, pink and light pink, and also the Wink of Stella brush. I'll just put those off to one side. During the demo, I'm not going to be using all those colours of those pens, but I will be. I have used them on within the design, so it will make sense as I'm going along. The Oxide colours we're using are Blueprint Sketch, Mowed Lawn, Mustard Seed, Festive Berries, and Picked Raspberry. We're also using the Honeydew Crafts Crystal Clear Embossing Powder and the VersaFine Onyx Black. So let's get this all organised. Our cards stock sizes today are 8x8 card, 7 3/4 inch black cardstock, and a 7.5 inch white piece. The rest of it is going to be made up. We're going to be using watercolour card. My watercolour card, which I think most of them do have a smooth side and a textured side. I do tend to work more on the smooth side for what I'm doing here. Right, so, oh, and the other thing I keep telling everybody about, because I can't keep them in stock at the moment, you're all loving them, is our roll of sticky foam pads. You get 1600 per roll. They're 25mm by 25mm by 2mm thick. They're available to pre-order on our website at the moment to be in hopefully the end of the week. And then they'll go straight back out to you. I will warn you that most of the pre-order that's coming in has already been sold, so you'll need to be quick. Right, so let's get started. We're going to start with the flowers first. Just need to grab my scissors because I put them in that safe place that I can't find, because we're going to just need to chop a piece as we're going along. Right, so we're going to start with this. So we've got the watercolour cardstock. I'm using the medium flower on here, but we will be using all three sizes of the flowers in this design. But I'm actually just going to show you how to make one flower because I've already done the rest. Otherwise this video would be a little bit longer than you probably want to sit through. So I'm just going to stamp that image out. Black VersaFine ink stamped onto the smoother side of the watercolour cardstock, and then I'm going to pop some crystal clear embossing powder over the top. Now, as I tell you each time, the VersaFine and embossing powder are not the best of friends, so you need to be very quick to get that powder on there. Just do this and take the excess off. Remember, don't give it a good flick, just a light little tap to take the excess off. I am actually going to just stamp a leaf out as well at the same time. Lots of little light taps over the top, just so we've got one of each to show you when we get to colouring them in. And again, powder straight on there. Notice I didn't heat the first one up before I did the second one. I've left plenty of room, so I didn't touch this one. It gave us plenty of space to be able to do that. Right, so we're going to heat this. We're going to heat from underneath. Obviously, watercolour cardstock is quite thick, so it may take me a minute or two to do this. I heat from underneath purely because, as I said, the VersaFine and the Crystal Clear embossing powder, or any embossing powder, are not particularly good friends. So to give it the best chance to hold on to the powder, I do heat from underneath, but you don't have to. My heat gun's quite loud, so bear with me a second while I do this bit. Obviously be careful as well, it's very hot, so mind your fingers as you're going. There we are, one nice shiny stamped out little lilies and leaves flower. So this is the medium sized one that I've done here. So now I'm just going to give that a couple of seconds while I just grab my colours. So the ones I'm going to show you what I did with are light blue and pale, sorry, does that look like blue? Light green and pale green. And then we're going to use the light blue and the dark blue. So I'm going to do my flower in blue. I know there's not many flowers in blue, but hey ho. I'm just trying to flatten that out a little bit because we've got a bit of a curl in it, it'll make it more difficult. So we're on watercolour cardstock. I do have a watercolour, just a water brush here. And I keep that beside me because if I do go over the line, I water it right down so that you can hardly see the colour. I don't know about any of you, but right now my hair is driving me insane. It keeps tickling my face today, so I apologise if I'm fiddling. Right, so we're going to do a petal at a time. We're going to go in with the dark colour and then quite quickly go in with the light colour and spread that out. Having taken a little bit of advice from the lovely Helen, do this in circular motions. It tends to blend a lot easier. So pop the dark colour down, go back in with the light. And if it gets too dark as you're going, just have a bit of scrap beside you and I've got a piece of kitchen roll there, and just take the excess off so that you get the blend of the two colours in there. Can you see what I mean by that? Blend of the two colours. There we go. So just keep working your way around. I'm dreadful. Remember, I've got to remember to talk to people when I'm doing this. I go into my own little world, it's lovely. Dark colour around. And if you notice, I'm kind of going off to one side. It's just how I just like the finish of it. So you can do it however you want. If you want to lay all the colour at the bottom and work outwards, go for it. But I quite liked it just being slightly darker on one side. Take the excess off so I can blend that in with the light blue. You can probably see now why I'm not going to do all the flowers that are in this card, because I think we've got about 9 or 10 in the card. So you don't want to watch me colour all those in. I want to take that blue across there, a bit more of the darker blue. And then the final petal in here. Okay, I'm just going to put the dark in the middle there just to fill that in there. So hopefully we'll end up with a lovely coloured flower. Let's see if I can get you in any closer there. Oh, gone a bit out of focus there, haven't we? There we go. So there we go. How quick and easy was that to blend? I am just going to block this because we've embossed it. The ink's going to sit on the top of that embossing if you've gone over the edge. See how much comes off, and if you don't do that, you smudge it. Been there, done that. So I'm going to do exactly the same with the green on my leaves. I'm going to lay some darker green at the bottom and work it through with the lighter green to the top. And I'm going to blot that excess off. Okay, so just going to snip these off here. Now I've cut it into a small piece because I'm using my tiny little die cut machine. This is the little amethyst die cut machine. I keep all my spare bits that I've used to hold it down on here as well. If anybody's wondering what this is Post-it on a roll. It's really good because it's like a Post-it note, but it's just a strip of it, so it's not as tacky. Sorry, not as not as tacky as most tapes are. So, and it's really easy. It just pulls through when I don't destroy it. Pulls through the flap here, having just destroyed it. Anyway, I'll put it back together and show you afterwards. So these are the little pieces. So I'm just going to line this up. This amethyst machine, we have these on our website. They're I think they're $39.99 on the website. The best thing best die cut machine ever for doing your flowers. I'm trying to do this so that you can see what I'm doing without this getting in the way. Here we go. So I try and find something that's slightly different about the flower to be able to line your die up easily. So this one here tends to be my go-to point because it kind of works there. You will find your own way of doing this as you're going. So we're just going to line that up there. And pop some tape on here. And I'm going to do the same with the leaf. Some tape there to hold it down. This machine I think I've had, Mum and I share this machine, so we've had it about 3-4 years. I'm still on the first set of cutting plates, so it is a really fab little machine. And what's even better about it is it folds up to that size and it just pops out of your way. So we have now got a leaf cut out and a flower cut out. Again, out of my way. The one thing I haven't remembered to bring over, see, my rescue box. Now, with all of our flower dies, we have done them so that they just cut the shape out. When we're making flowers, I like to have as much movement as possible in the actual flower. So, rather than with the dies, not everybody wants this cut down to this point, so this is why we didn't do it with the dies. So you just need to go in with a little pair of scissors and just snip a little V, because I want to take that cut right down to the middle of that flower. And you see, right down to there. So I'm just going to go in, and when I say cut a little V, it's because otherwise, I can't see if you can get that, it'll end up with a little sharp line like that. Hence I say just do a little V and just get rid of that piece. So go around each petal and take it right in. Now obviously this is thick cardstock, it's a watercolour card, so it is thick, so you don't get maybe quite as much options as to how to play with these. I had left it quite basic on making these flowers, but all I've got is a kebab stick, and I'm just going to go from underneath and stretch the fibres of the fabric. Do you remember like you used to do with ribbon to make it curly? It's exactly the same kind of thing. But I do make sure I'm holding on to the petal I'm working on as I'm going along. Because I'm putting a fair amount of pressure behind that. Then I'm just going to go in and just nip it and pull those petals back up. You can be fairly rough with this, you don't have to be delicate, it's not going anywhere. And then I'm just going to give it a poke and a wiggle. and then it gives us quite a bit of dimension on our flower. Okay, and I'm going to do the same with the leaf, just stretch that out, and then I'm just going to nip the end and bend it so we've got a little bit of a shape to that one too. And I'm going to pop those off to one side. We are now going to work on our background. This is where we get a little bit messier, which is not like me. Don't really do mess, do I? So wish me luck. I'm just going to clear some of this stuff out of my way for a second because I seem to have a lot around me. Okay, so we're going to go in with our piece of white cardstock. We're using the 7.5 inch cardstock. I'm just going to double check that that was 7. Yeah, it is 7.5 inches. So just going to use this piece and we're going to make our background. So I'm going to take the Distress Oxides and try not to get the square if you can. Just putting some different colours down. This will all make sense in a few moments. She hopes. It's a bit too square there. There we go. So we've ended up with some colour on the table, on our blending mat, and then I'm just going to spritz it with some water. Now it's quite wet. I'm going to take my white cardstock and lay it straight in over the top and lift it straight off. Alright, and then I'm just going to go in and pick up a bit more of the colour around the edges. Maybe just spritz it a little bit more to get, there's a bit there that we could do with having a bit of water on. We'll go over here with that piece. It doesn't have to be covered completely. If you wanted to do it a colour at a time so that you blend it a bit more, you have a bit more control on where everything's going, you can do that too. The choice is yours. I think I'm going to stick with it like that, and I'm just going to wipe this down and then I'm going to heat that just to dry it off a bit quicker because we want to get working on it. So I'm just going to take my heat gun and just waft over the top of that to dry it off a little bit. If you're wondering why I turned it over, it helps to flatten the card back down again, because obviously you've added water to it, so it starts to bend a little. So we're now going to go in and do a little bit of stenciling on here, just to add a bit of interest. So I've got my Make It station, and I'm just going to take our brick wall stencil, just lay this over the top, and using the 4 really strong magnets, just going to go and add some colour on here. Now I'm not adding any extra colour from my ink pad onto the sponge. I'm just going to go with what's already on the sponge. So if there's loads on there, we'll get a stronger image. If there isn't loads on there, we won't. I just want it to be quite subtle. Now the blue tends to be really quite strong, so be quite delicate when you go on with the blue. If you want it to be subtle, don't get too heavy-handed with it. And then I'm going to pop some on the side, on this side. The lovely thing about this little gadget, our station make art station is you don't need any stencil. Oh, I've just done exactly what I said not to do. It makes it really easy to move your stencil around. There's no worrying about stencil tape or whether it's your stamp's moving. You just do it. I want it in that corner there, so I'm just going to move my stencil, my magnet out of the way and just run that over that corner. So as I said, this stenciling is quite subtle. I didn't want it to be really in your face. So we've just got a little bit of the stencil around the edge. A bit grungy, a little bit different for me. But I really quite like the finish, so hey ho. So I don't know what I did without that station. It is just a fabulous piece of equipment. I love it. So where are we now? I am now going to grab all the bits and pieces that I did earlier. As I said to you, we had lots and lots and lots already cut out and coloured. So these are all the different colours that we've used. So this was the pinks. This was actually the geranium red and the light pink. And you obviously saw us with the blues. We've got the yellow and the red, a pink and a purple, and a couple of greens. So now all we're going to do is take our black and glue this onto our black piece. Now I've made the black almost exactly the same size as my base card because I really wanted the black on here to make it pop, and it works better with the flowers, but you can make it slightly smaller if you want to. Stick that down and we will stick this onto our card. And as I said, it is really close to the edge. It just leaves us a really tiny little border around there. I think we're going to use some foam pads for this one. This one doesn't, there we go. When I use the foam pads, you've seen me do it before. I know overkill on foam pads, but this one's a nice bright card, so it'll probably end up on the boards for the shows. So I need to make sure it's going to stay together. I can't believe how fast the time goes when we start these videos. It just flies by, doesn't it? It might not do while you're watching it, but so I'm popping a little bit of glue on here. That just gives me the wiggle room to put this where I want it to be, and if it goes down and I'm not happy with it, if I haven't put the glue on, there's no re-lifting it. But if I've got the glue on there, it gives me a couple of seconds just to get that off. Try not to get my head in the card, so bear with me a second. It's easier if I open this out today, because it is so close to the edge. I want to make sure we get it in the middle. There we go. Not bad. Look, almost looks like flowers here already, look, with the centres. Right, so choose roughly where you want them to go. I'm just going to give that one, let's flatten down a little bit. It's been in a packet overnight, so I wanted to make sure we got the dimension we want. And then just position them roughly where you think you want them to be. Be careful. Trying not to get the colours too close together. Maybe we'll put that one in here because that will split our colours up. Green in there and a blue up here. Just fiddle about until you're happy with the arrangement. I'm trying to get it not too symmetrical, but that's easier said than done, isn't it? So I'm going to just work out roughly where I wanted it to be. I've got my little hello stamp that I'm going to pop on there. I did do it out in 2 sizes just to see which one I liked best, but I actually think the big one is too much. So I'm just going to work with the little one This is the medium size out of the stamp set. So you get 3 sizes of hello in the set. I've gone with this one. So we will just, when you're happy with roughly where they are, again I'm using the sticky glue so it will give me a little bit of time to move things around if I want to, once I get it all in place. So I'm going to get my big ones roughly in place first and then work from them. Once you start popping things in and under and stuff, you might need a couple of minutes just to hold things together. A couple of seconds, not a couple of minutes. I'm going to take the leaves and just tuck them in underneath where I want them to be. I do think the leaves just finish it off really. You need to have that little bit of realism in there. If a card with paper flowers done with, coloured with inks can be real, you know what I mean. Purple one doesn't want to sit in there. Can you see it keeps popping back up? Now it's going to get even crosser with me because I want a leaf in there. How are we starting to look? Coming together? Now you all know that I do have a, here's one I made earlier, just in case when I'm doing it on the video something doesn't go quite to plan, but we can still get the card finished. So I'm going to show you in a minute the background that I had as just in case, and you can see just how different it is. No background when you do it like this is ever the same. The one I did previously is quite a lot darker in colours. But it still worked. It's quite a lot heavier, I suppose, is more the, look at that, how only I could have managed to do that, couldn't I? Get one leaf tucked under each other quite that easily. Just trying to get those leaves to stick down there. Stick underneath. That purple does not want to stay there. I'm just going to hold that there just for a second while I bring in, so this was the one that I did earlier. So you can see just how different the two different backgrounds look, just because of where I position things. That's how different they can be. I love the fact that they are never ever going to be the same colours. But what I tried to do was try and pick the oxide colours that work best with the colours that I'd used with the clean colour pens. Also, the Wink of Stella would look really cute just on. Now, Wink of Stella will blend these colours as well, so you do need to be quite quick and quite careful if you don't want to blend the colours any more than they already are. So I just want to sparkle up my leaves. You could do this before you stuck them down if you want. It would have been easier if I had done that before I stuck them down, but this works too. Oh, that leaf doesn't appear to have stuck. There we go. Let's try again. There. And now just find my sentiment. Again, pop a little bit of glue on the back of it just to make sure I could put a bit of wiggle room to do this. And I'll pop my little hello on there. Maybe go a little bit lower down. There we go. So there is our little lilies and leaves card completely finished. So I'll just show you a few more cards that we did that we've got with our little lilies and leaves. So this one is just with just one flower on there in the bottom corner, and you can't really see on this picture, but the black square in the middle has had the flower stamped out and crystal clear, stamped out with Versamark, and crystal clear embossing powder popped on there as well. So you can see the flower there, but you can't really see it on the picture, I'm afraid. And that sentiment is from our Dream Sentiments collection. Another one done really bright, vibrant colours, and this one, the sentiment is from Mini Sentiment stamp set. We've got another card. Here we go. This one is a completely flat card, been coloured in. I believe this one was coloured in with clean colour pens, and then another couple more. Again, this is just stamped and embossed. This one has got 3 layers of flowers on, using all 3 different sizes of flowers, and I believe that sentiment is from our, I think it was Snowdrop set. And then this one is similar to the card that I did on the last video where we've cut out the centre, but the flowers have just been layered up to hide the join in the middle. Maybe we'll do something a bit like that with some more flowers later on. So we'll just come back to show you what we've been using again, just so that you know. So there's the finished card. In fact, if I bring it up to you, you can probably see it, all the bright colours and all the blending a little bit better. I think the red and pink, this one was geranium red and the light pink to blend. I thought that came out really nice. So we have used the Little Lilies and Leaves stamp and matching outline die. We've used the brick wall stencil, and we've used our Hello stamp set. The colours of Oxides we used were Mustard Seed, Festive Berries, Blueprint Sketch, Mowed Lawn and Picked Raspberry. And we've also got clean colour pens. To make these particular colours, these particular flowers, we have used Green Shadow, Pink, Geranium Red, Red, Light Blue, Yellow, Light Pink, Blue, Deep Violet, Light Violet, Light Green and Pale Green. We've also used the Wink of Stella pens, Wink of Stella brush, and the VersaFine ink and clear embossing powder. So I think that's everything. I hope you all enjoyed the demo today. If there's anything else you'd particularly like to see, please let us know. And also, just to let you know that if you ever see an email come from us that says we're on Facebook Live or we're on Facebook, if you pop onto our website, if you're not a subscriber to Facebook, you can still watch our Facebook post or Facebook Live, and you can watch any post or read any posts that we've put on for Facebook. You don't have to be a member to watch that. You don't have to subscribe to Facebook. You can just go onto our website and that will give you the feed. It's along the very top of our website. It does say Facebook. Just click on there. It shows you everything we've done. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. If you've got any questions, let me know. You can email us at honeydewcrafts@gmail.com or go through our website at the contact us on www.honeydewcrafts.co.uk. Take care, everybody. Thanks. Bye.